Hello, welcome back to Mountain Gym Card Collectibles. So, hope you're having a great week. So, today I want to talk about inserts and comparing, Topps line of inserts from their products in comparison to Panini's, product line of inserts and their products. And honestly, when you think of the two companies, you would expect Topps to have, like a flagship insert set that people can really, latch onto, dream about collecting, whatever. But overwhelmingly, I've always questioned why Topps has just always failed to give us a decent insert set. And now that they have, the licenses to, or here pretty soon to all these big, sport leagues, you would expect that they would come out with something that's really groundbreaking, for inserts. Something similar to, the Kabooms or the Color Blasts or the Downtowns that Panini has released. But the more and more I look at Topps products, you start to see why, Topps just doesn't really have much passion for inserts. And I know that they believe that since they have, all of these, this big mass monopoly on the sports leagues, as they keep churning year after year, that they're all about the best cards possible. But today, I checked out the Topps X site, and they are showing there's this new it's an obvious insert that's due to be released in Series 2. And it's an obvious nod to Panini Downtown products. Yeah, it's not fully illustrated, like Downtown. Yes, they've obviously, more or less just taken photos, slapped them on there, and they just label it home field advantage. They have Luis Angel Acuna on there. They're trying to give a collector something that's similar. Unfortunately, it's not Panini Downtown. It's not even really close to an extent. Yeah, it's another Topps insert. Yay! Luis Angel Acuna, he's a decent rookie, for 2025. But what I don't understand about Topps is why they just can't seem to be very unique with their own products. If you know what I mean, are they just completely, not maybe into creating cards as much as, say, Panini is? I'm not sure, you can look at the history of, say, like this product here. This is an obvious take on Downtown. You can't say it's not for these Downtown inserts. So then we look at, this is just from cardlines.com. They have a nice page where they talk about, the history of Downtown inserts with Panini. It's a great page. But we can just kind of scroll down here and look at some of these Downtown cards. Here we see, this Panini 1-on-1 Downtown Yao Ming. The Rockets, that's an awesome looking card. And then, this kind of classic Trevor Lawrence Jaguars rookie card, which, he's not doing that great, but still an awesome looking card. And the first year that they released Downtown was the 2016 to 2017 Panini Studio. And I'll just scroll down to the bottom here. Yeah, so here's the very first, and then let's say from Downtown in 2016 Panini Studio. That's an awesome Steph Curry insert, obviously, And then, it just progresses through the various sets. Like here's the like Josh Allen Downtown, that's an awesome looking card. Patrick Mahomes, LeBron James, and another Steph Curry. And you can kind of get an idea for the various types of sets you have to get into. You have to get, if you're going for basketball, start with Studio, then with the Cornerstone, Panini 101, draft picks, and back to Panini 101. If you're chasing Downtown inserts for basketball. Football, it would start at Donruss and Donruss Optic, and that's where it still is. And then for baseball, it's the Diamond Kings. Diamond Kings for baseball started in 2019. Football started in 2018, but the very first one started with their basketball product back in 2016. And I'm not the biggest fan of Panini. If you know my channel, I'm not. But I do like the fact that they take chances. And they took a chance on this insert, Downtown. And it really worked out to the point to where if you think of current inserts, you likely won't think of any other inserts except for Panini's inserts. Downtown, Kaboom, and Color Blast. And you have to ask yourself, why has Panini more or less monopolized the insert market? And it just goes back to, well, they took a chance. And for one reason, you don't get that at Topps, and you never have. I mean, to me, the Topps product is still about the same as it was late 80s, whatever. They try and tweak it, go to battle against, these sort of products like Downtown, but they just really fail, And it's not just me that's saying it. I mean, maybe you're saying, well, there is Topps inserts that really just, torpedo, everyone else's inserts. But if you can think of an insert, from Topps that you were just so addicted to, or you really need to have in your collection, write a comment, put a comment down, because for me, when I think of Topps inserts, I think of just garbage inserts, like Stars of MLB, I mean, what a nightmare Stars of MLB is. I just wish that they would just completely trash that insert, and they just keep dragging that awful insert along like people care about it. No one cares about, Stars of MLB. And so we'll just do a simple search here. And I put Panini most popular insert set, and this is just a simple, Google Gemini AI overview, and just brings up a few points, stunning designs, scarcity, high value cards, collectability, and they are, a tough chase, you're lucky to get one a case, stuff like that. So it is a chase for collectors. You're going to spend a lot of money chasing it? Yes, you will, because, it's expensive, to chase. But now I'm just going to type in Topps most popular insert set. Topps most popular insert sets often revolve around iconic designs, high-value players, or unique features. All Aces, I guess, is their big insert set. I don't like All Aces. I know that they try to hype it up, but to me it's just, meh. It's not like a Downtown or a Color Blast, or a Kaboom. It's just, it doesn't even rank close to that. Other popular sets include the Topps Chrome brand, and the Mystical insert set, which, that doesn't really come out at me either. Yeah, they like to, I guess, hype up Topps Black Gold as an insert. Stars of MLB. Come on, guys. Why is that on this list? Get that out of here. Heavy lumber. Mystical. I guess they could say Topps Chrome is an insert. Yeah, they sometimes, when you're getting certain sets, they insert Topps Chrome. Yeah, so they don't. And then all aces. And now, since I guess they want to, compete against Downtown, they have their newest product. Back to it. Home field advantage. Are you feeling home field advantage? Are you excited? Anyway, why is it that Topps just fails to create good inserts? And you might ask yourself that question over and over again. You're likely not going to come up with a very good answer or conclusion why. If you want to collect all aces and say all aces is better than these Panini inserts, I think you can do it. I've seen worse inserts than all aces. So what's it going to take for Topps to step up their inserts to finally give us an insert set that ranks with Panini's inserts? Will it ever be accomplished at Topps? I mean, they've had so many years to do it. Honestly, when you think of the history of both companies, when I sit and think of 1990 Panini products, where they're just little stickers, in comparison to the Topps, products of sports cards, you would expect that Topps would have a flagship insert set by now. I never would have thought that Panini would be the place for the best insert chases on the market at this point, but they clearly are, So how do you feel about this new insert from Topps? If you're really feeling it, going, man, I need to chase this thing like a Downtown, this home field advantage insert, write some comments. Comments are awesome. Thank you to my subscribers and the viewers who watch my channel. And if you haven't subscribed as a viewer, it's 100% free. Just click the button and my channel can continue to grow and I can improve it. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye.